What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So today we're talking about the new released Tiberon Augment, Critical Precision. We'll talk about how it works, how you can potentially utilize it, and some things to look out for if you are going to be using this mod for the Tiberon and Tiberon Prime. Because it can give you some decent results, but it's also like you're jumping through a lot of hoops to make this work. So I'm not sure if it would be really something I'd recommend to people. But before we get into it, make sure you're subbed to the channel. Also, make sure at the live channel as well. We'll be live later tonight with some Warframe gameplay. Alright, so this augment is for the Tiberon. It's called Critical Precision, and the way you get it is you have to rank up to rank 13 on Nora's Remix Volume 2. It might come back after this season's over, but this is how you currently get it. How it works, on Burst Fire mode only, this will work on the Tiberon Prime. Headshots increase crit chance by 10%, up to 500%. Missing with all shots in a burst removes up to 100% of this bonus critical chance. So, it's not like additive 500% crit chance. You're going to be getting, with a build that I'll be showing right here, a no crit Riven setup here with Point Strike and the Augment mod, you're hitting about 210% crit chance when it's fully stacked up. If you were to run the other crit mod, well, I guess you only run one or the other. If you were to run Critical Delay instead, you're getting about 14% more crit chance. So you're going to like 224% crit chance, but with reduced fire rate. So it's going to be up to you if you want to, run one or the other. But since you're over 200 with both of these, if you're fully stacked up, might as well just not, sacrifice some fire rate if you don't need to. But yeah, we got a 100 munitions build here, and multi-shot does work on this. So with no multi-shot, one burst will give you plus 30% on the buff, and it's stacks up to 500%, so that's quite a few bursts. So definitely rock multi-shot in here. If you have a multi-shot Riven, that will also help. This is a no Riven build right here. So let's do one burst. It will probably go to like about 60, I'm guessing. So yeah, 60 right there. A no multi-shot burst gives you 30% of that buff. Multi-shot burst gives you 60. And of course, if you had more multi-shot, you can get more than 60 because you'd be firing more bullets. So as you can see, it's stacking up to, all the way up to 500, as long as we keep shooting her in the head and not missing. And of course, these guys are paused, so we'll have some actual mission gameplay here so I can show you how that works. So, okay, now we are fully stacked up. That 500% buff is as much as you get with this, and, we're getting all orange crits and some red crits with this loadout. Now, I did miss one of the bursts there, so if I miss a burst, I think the UI might be bugged, but it's supposed to be us missing, is taking out some of these points. So, it's a little bit of a buggy mod. I tested it for about 3 or 4 hours on stream yesterday, and we found some weird interactions with it, but one of the things that was definitely noticeable is that it's very buggy when it actually will take away the procs. Giving you the procs seems pretty reliable, but taking them away seems very unreliable. So, yeah, pretty standard hunter munition stuff right there. Let's summon in some bombards because they have less overall health, but they have more armor. So the armor bypass of hunter munitions and viral will be pretty nice there. Well, actually, viral doesn't bypass armor, but it increases the damage of slash procs, which do bypass armor. So that's no Riven. Now this thing has a mod space issue in my opinion. Like we're basically using every mod slot for this. That was pretty decent. We're using every mod slot to get this build. And if you wanted to like throw on a Riven, you really are you're gonna have to think a lot about what kind of Riven you want here. If you want this specific viral hunter munitions build. And also like this build probably would have been fine without this mod. Like let's do the exact same build with just like a crit damage mod there instead. I'll do let's just do hammer shot. Or whatever it's called, bladed rounds. So I'm losing about 140% crit chance on these guys in the simulacrum. Let's see if I can still kill them pretty easily. Because, I mean, that was like basically a one-shot once we had the stuff stacked up here, or there. Okay, I know it says it's visually up there still working, but it's not. We actually have a really big downside with this augment I'm going to talk to you about. So it's somewhat similar performance, honestly. So the augment might as well not even exist, unless you want to see orange and red crits, honestly. So, but here's the main problem with this augment, and the reason that I'm just like, why even bother? So the Tiberon Prime has 3 firing modes, and like I said when I read this off earlier, the augment only works on the burst fire mode. But what it also doesn't tell you here is that using anything but the burst fire mode completely screws you over. So I'm on the burst fire mode right now. And let's just unbug the UI by going over to these enemies. If you are using the Tiberon Prime and you want to switch between fire modes, you can't. Come on, Stacks. Okay, there we go. So it says 50% there. See how we have some stacks of this mod? Now we're 160. If I switch fire modes, the buff instantly disappears and you lose all your stacks. So why even bother making this, like, it should just disable mode switching. If you push the button to switch fire modes on accident, you completely screw yourself over. Let's get some gameplay on the screen of how this works in an actual mission. And I'm sorry, but I had to use abilities here because it's a single target weapon, the Tiberon Prime. It's got like decent base stats, but it's a single target weapon. It's not meant for killing multiple enemies in survival really fast. So I did end up using Breach Surge and Garuda's 4. So keep that in mind. It's not really meant for this type of thing. It's more of a single target weapon, but you're jumping through some hoops for sure to rock this thing. Not to mention, if you want to fit viral on here, I mean, what we just spent 2 mod slots on crit chance. There is a lot of mod space issues with this thing, which is why I'm going to recommend if you really like the Tiberon. I like the Tiberon. Trust me, I do like the Tiberon. You're going to need to probably get a Riven mod, and you might want to get a Riven mod with an elemental on it, either Toxin or Cold, or maybe even both. If you want to run a viral build, you have to run, because you have to run high munitions, you have to run crit chance, you have to run crit damage. If you're running this Augment, that's another mod slot for crit chance again. You want your Bane mod, and you want your combined elemental viral. That is not enough mod slots. Well, it is enough mod slots, but it leaves zero room for flexibility, because your flex slot is being used by this Augment, as you can see here. This build is, there is nothing you can replace in this build, really, if you want to run the Augment. Like I said, the Augment is replaceable, but so if you want to rock this, you could get a Riven like I have right here. So what we'd be able to do with this Riven is we have cold damage, toxin damage, and multi-shot. So that combines into viral damage, giving us our viral procs that we want really badly for getting increased damage to munitions. And then in the flex slot, we're able to put on Prime Shred. Punch through does not ruin this thing. So if you have like Prime Shred on here and you shoot one enemy in the head and there's an enemy behind them, you didn't hit in the head, it's fine. You're gonna keep your stacks. But yeah, if you have an elemental Riven and to fit on your viral build, it will be technically a little bit easier. And as you can see, I have some fire rate on here now because I got Prime Shred. Now we're basically fully stacked up. Got that multi-shot Riven to get those buffs up really quickly, and they're just basically one-shot dead now. That's with a Riven. So, like, yeah, you know, Rivens do make most things hit this hard. And let's just try it with the semi-auto. Now, all this buff is all for the burst fire mode. I switched to semi-auto mode. All my crit chance is gone, and now we're back to yellow crits. Now, I can still one-shot them, but that should show you how much the Augment's really not doing much for this thing. I can still one-shot them without the Augment on the other fire modes. So, overall, you know, not really like a must-have Augment. I actually am a really big Tiberon Prime fan. That guy's head just got deleted. I'm actually a really big Tiberon Prime fan, so I kind of feel like this Augment mod should have been for burst fire mode weapons in general. Think of how cool that could have been if this Augment mod, which, you know, we're pretty much saying is not really worth the slot, or at least I'm saying it's not worth the slot. Imagine if this was for every burst weapon mode in the game. That might make it more interesting because, yeah, the Tiberon is like some random Prime weapon, sure. But there's so many other burst weapons. The Kuva Hind, the Badacore, the Hema. The Hema would be pretty good with this. The Burst, there's literally a weapon called the Burstin, and it can't use this. Those weapons are not meta at all and could be using some help like this. I think when they make these Augment mods, they should be archetypal, like weapon family type of things, where it's like, okay, all the burst fire weapon rifles in the game get this new Augment mod where you get crit chance on headshot. Like, it wouldn't break. The burst fire weapons are not OP in nature, like Cerberus and all that. Now, they might become actually used a lot more if they nerf AoE stuff too much, but that sounds like a meta that would not be very fun to play at all if Cerberus and Tiberon stuff were meta, because, I mean, you see it right here. It's not going to be able to kill these guys. I already ran out of life support. I started using the Inodem after 5 kills. This thing does not deal with hordes at all. Now, it can kill Demolus and Thrax, but you're jumping through so many hoops having to get those headshots. Here, let me see if I can replay the Acolyte killing footage in this clip. Okay, so here's the Acolyte right here. This is a realistic application of this weapon in mission. I mean, let's be real here. Us Warframe players, we've been spamming rocket launchers at our feet for a good year now. Aim's a little bit fuzzy, for me at least. So if an enemy is moving around like this and you have to hit headshots, chained headshots, it's just not worth it. I could have used the Kuva Shakur right there and one-shot his ass probably, or one-shot him probably. So, it's like a pseudo single target weapon. It's also not single target. So, as far as being universally applicably good, no, it's not. Only major Tiberon fans and players that want to just like are super bored and want something new-ish to mess with, those are the only people that will be messing with this. It is not worth it at all, especially with the fact that if you switch fire modes on the Tiberon Prime, like the entire reason the Tiberon Prime is different than normal Tiberon, it completely screws you over. So, not worth it at all. At least you can get orange and red crits, right? With no Riven. If you had a Riven, a crit chance Riven, you could probably be getting mostly red crits, actually, as that would push you over 250, I believe. But then good luck fitting the whole HM build on there, because that's potentially you not having an elemental. So, either way, guys, I hope that you found the video helpful. I wish it was a little bit better. I really do, as a Tiberon Prime. Like, honestly, I bought Zephyr Prime Access for the Tiberon Prime. Like multiple years, like all these years ago, when Zephyr and Tiberon first came out, I was so hyped for the Tiberon Prime. And it's just the way the game is played nowadays, the Tiberon Prime got left behind. It's single target weapons, like even single target weapon wise, we have better stuff than the Tiberon nowadays. And the main thing the Tiberon has is like okay stat Rivens, and it's pretty decent for hunter munitions because of all those bullets from the burst mode. So I'll see you guys next time. Hope the video was helpful to you. And yeah, see you later tonight on Twitch as well. Take it easy. Peace.